most brands are playing a game now where they feel like they cannot win. CPMs are up, levers are being removed. Sometimes it feels like we're just a donation to the metaverse in some sense. What I love is that we've got you here now, and you're going to help us not fall victim to the walled garden system that has caused this great stagnation. Let's all welcome Cory with a big hand clap. Yes. Cory, give us your perspective on what you've been building here. Bring us into the pain, and also just give us a little more color on what this actually is that you're building for the entire industry.
First of all, thanks for having me, by the way.
Of course.
The production is amazing. I'm blown away. But I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth reading the manifesto. I'm not really sure what else to add beyond that. But yeah, I mean, like, effectively, I think everyone feels it, but doesn't really want to talk about it. And that's like, yes, Meta is the best algorithm on earth. It's incredibly smart. It is doing a lot of the right things. But at the end of the day, it answers to its shareholders. And so it's always going to balance getting you the best performance possible against getting shareholder value. And like you said earlier, their advertising back in the day used to be very freeing. It used to be really, really fun. When I started, I was testing like using different bid modifiers of different percentage differences with very specific audiences, households, income, all that stuff. And you would get really interesting results, and you could, hyper optimize your campaigns to perfection. And now it's very different. It's very sort of set and forget in a way. And Mark Zuckerberg has actually said that he intends to go further down this rabbit hole, right? Like, they've been very public about the fact that they want to go all in on AI and have you effectively give it your ad creative and, cross your fingers, give it your creative, your budget, cross your fingers and hope that it works out. And so, and obviously, you have the issues of, if your ad portfolio is not diversified, then, what happens tomorrow if Meta is no longer part of the picture? Ad accounts get banned for no reason. They're always up against the wall with legislation. And so if you build your entire brand on only one channel, it becomes a big risk. And so what do you do? And the answer is not much. Go to Google, you spend some money. It's obviously a different intent platform. And so you can spend money, but you can't necessarily scale it the same way you can Meta. And then, okay, now we're going to go to TikTok, and we're going to add some budget there. And then, we'll go to Snap, we'll do some Microsoft ads now. And then suddenly you have 6 different platforms. You have 6 different agencies or people specialized in these. You have a ton of different channels that are all disconnected from one another. There's just not really a good methodology for diversifying your spend once you've already found and scaled success in your core, I would say, Meta and Google for everyone, really, right? And so other side is sort of like the solution to that problem in a way.
Love that. And I think as you talk, you are hitting on a lot of our pain points that we feel. You're hitting on a lot of our pain points. I want to give my money to Meta. At the same time, I feel scared. I feel risky because of what could happen there. I'd love to place these other bets, but even more, I'd like them to work synchronously in harmony. And I'd like there to be some kind of maestro that is there coordinating the entire thing. Tell me, Cory, I don't think I understand yet what this is with the connected performance ads, with the performance grid. Is there a software that you've built that's running in the background? Is there a service element to this? Let's say I come to you, I say, Cory, help me, fix this for me. What does this actually look like if we were to do business together?
Yeah, all very valid questions. It's sort of like a new frontier. So there's been a lot of sort of like education that has to go along with all of this. First of all, I'll say the word programmatic. Effectively, what we do is programmatic ads, but it's done in a very unique way. And so when I say programmatic, a lot of e-com brands will, they get a little bit scared. It's a little bit of a dirty word. In the past, if you've tested programmatic, it probably means you went to Taboola, spent a couple dollars, didn't work, left, wrote off display kind of thing, And so programmatic has always been just this industry full of like antiquated strategies where we're optimizing for impressions, we're spending a lot of money, but who cares about conversions, right? That said, programmatic channels present a huge opportunity with inventory. There's tons and tons and tons of reach. effectively anyone that doesn't exist within Meta's ecosystem can be reached, even if they don't have a phone, through programmatic ads. And so how do we take this opportunity and build it for e-com brands? You know, digitally native brands really want to find performance, right? Like performance is very important. You spend $1, you want $1 back, you want $2 back. And so you want to build programmatic in a way where e-com brands can confidently spend their money there. And so how do you do that? First of all, you know, we need to figure out performance. We need to figure out reporting and attribution, and we need to package it in a way where not just package it in like the sexy, you know, this works way, but it actually works and you can demonstrate that to brands. And so what we did is we built a system where it's software in the background, but agency in the foreground, I guess. It's a managed service. I run the ads on a brand's behalf using our systems that we built. And it's effectively a system that sits on top of all these different channels. Let's say connected TV, display, native, programmatic audio like Spotify, mobile app ads, you know, AppLovin, I'm sure everyone's familiar, even digital out of home. All of these disparate programmatic channels we run under one roof and they're all connected together. So this gives us a few benefits. First of all, we can target people across channel, which is relatively unheard of. So to give you some context, we could target someone in the top of funnel on Netflix and then retarget that person in the bottom of funnel on Candy Crush on their phone or something like that, and get really interesting funnels going where we're kind of, it feels almost like a 2008 era meta kind of, where we're just getting really creative with our targeting. We're building funnels for very specific people, very specific behaviors. And then also because they're all connected, they're sharing data, they're optimizing together, and they're learning more quickly. And so traditional learning phases in programmatic are, you know, 4 to 6 months, these super long periods where you spend $1 and you're not going to see profit until, you know, half a year later. Now we're looking at like 4 to 6 weeks. And another component of that is we actually built an algorithm that we built on top of all of this that helps make a lot of those bidding decisions in real time, very similar to Meta's algorithm, or exactly what AppLovin did with mobile app ads. We're just doing it across the entire programmatic ecosystem. And so because this is, you know, this is a very new thing, it's very complex, we decided just to call it connected performance ads because it really is a new thing, in my opinion. It's very different. It functions differently. It's kind of a new novel concept. And so I think it makes sense to call it something different than just programmatic ads because it's quite an antiquated title.
Absolutely. Nice. Cory, and you talked a little bit about, you know, Netflix ads. You talked a little bit about the AppLovin ads. I know that you're talking about bringing all this together as basically one ecosystem, but is there something that you're really bullish on or really, really excited about as a channel in 2026 that maybe isn't Meta?
Yeah, I mean, I clearly have incentive to say this, but connected performance ads for sure. Yes. I mean, plain and simple, you know, connected TV is really, really strong if you know how to do it right. I've run MMM studies and geolift studies with brands that prove it has actual impact and lift. And then when you pair that with traditionally overlooked channels like display, you know, massive reach on display, if you can get around all of the low quality traffic, which is what we're kind of building to, is finding that premium traffic, targeting those people. Display is very, very strong as well. And so when we connect those two, what we're seeing work really well is connected TV in the top of funnel, raising awareness, and then anyone who we get like an extended view from or multiple views from those people, anyone exposed to CTV in the top of funnel, they get retargeted with display so that the message follows them around the web. And we're finding really, really good performance with that. And that's just one example of some like creative funnels that we can build that are working. So I think this isn't a replacement for Meta or Google or anything like that. Like I definitely think most brands should start with Meta and Google, but at some point you're going to feel the pain and you're going to know in your heart it's time to diversify your budget. I think that this is, it's built to be and is very quickly becoming the best solution to do that.
There's a few things that I love about this, Cory. Number one, the branding. You crushed on rebranding programmatic. Okay. You've crushed in that regard. Connected performance, the verbiage. Okay. So kudos to you on that. Number one. Number two, the fact that this isn't just a software in the background that I, as a brand owner or as a marketing lead, interact with myself, but the fact that you are involved personally That gives me great confidence. Okay. I have known of you, Cory, although this is the first time for us to talk.
Shocking.
I have known of you since your booming days,
Oh, wow.
through our mutual friend, Will Bailey.
He's the best.
He said, this guy, Cory, he's a killer. He's a killer. He's going places, which has proven to be the case. And number 3, the fact that this allows me to navigate other platforms, channels, placements that I'm not already taking advantage of. Example, connected TV. The thing that's always scary to me, brand side, is, hey, we want to explore this opportunity on said platform, on these various platforms. Oh no, I don't know it. I've got to go find another agency to work with for each one of these just to do a test. It becomes cumbersome to enter into the entire process itself. So the fact that outside of where we're all spending money already, you've got what I would consider in some sense a one-stop shop for, let's test this new up-branded, upscaled, sexy version of programmatic. We can place it in Cory's hands. This is going to work. To me, that's a real win for people who are going to be doing business with you. Colin, does that resonate with you? I mean, that would give me great confidence, just being brand side.
For sure. And then Cory, I had a follow-up question for you. Is there any connected TV campaigns that you've seen that maybe you haven't done, where you are like, I absolutely love this campaign. I think this was a home run. I wish I would have thought about it.
That's an interesting question. I mean, the interesting thing about connected TV is that we all see so many CTV ads every day, and you probably don't regularly think about it. And so you're constantly exposed to these ads, and you're probably thinking, this is amazing. But it's really hard to remember what those are. And so that's why when we start connecting the dots for people across the web, it starts to become a lot more powerful. But I actually noticed that it's very hard to find resources for like the best CTV ads. So I tend to start working on a sort of a bank, some sort of white paper or bank or whatever, where we could just build CTV ads, put them in there, and then fill it over time and just get like a really big resource of like the best CTV ads over time. I think everyone would benefit from that for sure. But I think to answer your question, I think maybe one of the most surprising things that people find out is that CTV ads don't need to be this like really super polished commercial that you spent $100,000 on. What we're actually seeing work for a lot of brands is we're just straight up taking their meta ads, cropping it and resizing it and shortening it for CTV. And these like direct response, performance driven ad formats are actually working on TV as well, because I think people are getting programmed to, interpret and behave a certain way based on their social media engagements. And so I think these ads actually have a reasonable impact on CTV as well, which I think a lot of people find surprising.
You've sold me now, Cory. I thought I'm going to have to go shoot a $50,000 commercial. Now you're telling me I can repackage my meta ads that are already performing. I'm sold. I will say, just as an addendum, the thing that I love about CTV is it allows me to actually explain to my parents and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law what it is that I do. We see a commercial come on. It's like, look, see that? That's Collar & Co. They're offering 20% off. And where you go to a website to buy that, that's what e-commerce is. It's buying things on the internet. That's an example. So I love that about what we're doing and what you're doing. Cory, what I would love, I know you're a busy man. We don't want to keep you all day long. I'd love for you to tell us, just for everyone that can hear my voice and for everybody that's reading the article that you just put out, what's next steps? We want to work with Cory. We want to explore it. What do we do now?
Yeah, pretty easy. You just go to the website, jointheotherside.com, fill out the contact form. We'll get a call in the books. Short and sweet. I just figure out what you're looking for, tell you very plainly if I'm able to help or not. If so, we can launch pretty quickly. Usually within 7 to 10 business days, we could push ads live. So very straightforward. We'll put together a strategy that says exactly based on your needs, what we're going to do, what channels we'll run. We can work together to refine that and then get things moving.
We're going to show your website, Cory, after you leave here, because that thing is a work of art.
Thank you.
I think
I made it
that-
myself, believe it or not, and I'm not a web
Let's
designer.
go.
I do. I
Let's
totally
go.
believe it. And I love this. I love this about you. One can tell by the artwork behind you and by looking at your website, you are not only a spreadsheet person, you are an artiste.
Very true,
And
yes.
marketers, the best marketers need both halves of those brains to be working in concert.
I think so.
Cory, we appreciate you joining us. Let's give him a big hand clap as he leaves. And thank you, sir. Thank you for your service to the entire industry.